this live as the video is published or after the fact. All right, I really appreciate you guys even giving the video a chance, giving the messages a chance. All right, and we are tapping into portal energy as well as new moon energy tonight, you guys. Really just intending to get and dare I say receive myself the message for right now, right? So this is a general collective message tonight. I really feel like there's something in the pie for everyone, right? But please be mindful to take what resonates. Okay, of course, of course. One moment. All right. So again, you guys, much love and light for sure, for sure. And I really feel like every one of you could get a little something out of tonight's message. Tapping into the palindrome portal, okay? But also, even more importantly, tapping into the right now energies, right? So whenever you find this message, you guys, it is timeless, all right? And take of it what you will, okay? I will be obviously mentioning the palindrome portal, okay? As well as the new moon. Forgive me, I am not certain what sign the new moon is tonight, you guys. And I believe it may be pretty significant. I do know the next full moon is on the 11th of next month, and that is the strawberry moon. But gosh, as far as the signs astrologically, forgive me, I gotta play some catch up there. So I'm not gonna lie to you, I'm not sure what sign, okay, referable to moon energy we're talking about. But I do know because I've gone ahead and pulled most, if not all, of the cards. And I do know that we are connecting to the right now energy, at least, if nothing else, connecting to that new moon energy because it came out in the cards, okay? So I'm going to ring the bell, but I just want to give us a chance. Literally been on here for 2 minutes for us to gather a little bit more fully, if possible, if we should, right? There's some significance to that, okay? Going with the flow, right? But intending to put your best foot forward, not quite so rigidly to the point where if your expectations aren't met in the same form, manners, and levels, all right, that all hell has to break loose, because that doesn't have to be the case, you guys. And right now, I do see that though we're always talking about New Earth, we've arrived, okay, we were the prophecy, right? There's still some residual energy or some dust, if you will, that most assuredly can and is scheduled to settle, right? But you got to do your part in this, of course, as well. The reason why I say that is part of the anything that you're facing, okay, that you're asked to be up against, perhaps, right, to overcome, really is this journey for you, whereby you are searching for certain aspects of truth, okay? Maybe many of you have already had certain aspects of truth that maybe you've even would have laid your lies down, excuse me, laid your lives down for, okay? And maybe you find that they are some form of lie. How do you measure truth against a lie when you realize the truth that you've laid claim to, maybe is and always was just that, right? Can really rattle you, really can shake you at your faith level, your core level, some might say, right? And again, you guys, this life is far more spiritual than you might realize. So of course you're being asked to check the scales here, the weights and balances, check the truths for the truth of the matter, right? And that's why we talk about all the time, you guys, it's so very important. Don't be that one that just kind of takes from everyone and everything else outside of you, firstly, to the point of possibly, I'm not here to word curse, possibly, your own detriment, okay? Because again, gone are the days where it should be that you're taking somebody else's truth simply and solely as just that. Others, you maybe more aptly like say something to the effect of, just because somebody is touting something as truth doesn't necessarily mean that you should wholeheartedly believe it as the gospel, as it were, as it may be etched in stone, right? Putting a period there, talking about, well, there's nothing else to learn. Well, there's no other truth out there, right? Love and light, Lester. So, just saying, be mindful, be vigilant, okay? Now is not the time to fall prey to any illusionary energy, okay? Whether it's coming through you, I don't want to say it's coming from you, right? Whether it's coming through you because you are channeling other people's perceptions, projections of you. Maybe you're picking up other people's karmic repercussions energetically. All right. Be mindful of the company you keep. Okay. And also be mindful what you allow to stay, even if found within you, your mental space, your heart space, your energetic field. Now is not the time, right, to be in any kind of weakened position referable to your own faith. And again, this goes back to you've got to do the work. You've got to do your own part in it, right? Somebody else outside of you can assist you, of course. That's why I'm here, right? Can guide you, perhaps, if you let them, right? If you're open minded enough. And we do have a request for you to, some might say, remain open minded, and others perhaps work a little at becoming a lot more open minded about maybe some of those truths, perhaps, since that keeps circling back around through the channel, right? But also just in general, of course, be open-minded, because you don't want to be the one trying to box divinity, trying to box God into anything, any form or blessing or miracle, even, such to the point of your detriment, where you're missing the others because you were hyper focused on how the miracles nonetheless still came in for you, right? But not in the way you expected. And so, because not in the way you expected, you were essentially shooting yourself in the foot here, all right? Maybe energetically, you might say spiritually, even, right? And really, now is not the time. There's never a time for that, right? But really, for real, right now, in current energies, and that's what we're pulling for, now would not be the time for that. Okay. So I do see evidence of fear coming out here. All right. Fear of even moving forward, right? Kid Cudi may be of, I don't know why he keeps coming through the channeling. Um, Let me get the name of the song. I think it's Reborn. Let me just check because I don't want to say. Hold on one second, because that's gonna bother me. Is because I don't know. Okay, yeah, it is Reborn. Huh. Okay. There's a synchronicity to that. Trust your answer the first time, right? Especially if you're asking yourself questions, and you guys, you should be. Okay, inner guidance, inner work, still coming through as. I'll be kind and say it's a request and not really a command, but you should at least think of it as a prerequisite to, again, the miracles that already exist for you. Okay, you got to do the work. You got to keep your faith muscles flexed, built up. You got to know your why. All right, because when we talk about it all the time, you're going to get tested on this. Hey, do you know last Sunday you knew your why? Last Tuesday you had your boundary up. How about now? Today's a new day, right? And you've got to be able to be built up in your own self confidence about your yeses, your no's, your whys in the matter. All right, such to the point where even when tested, kind of rolls off your back. You don't have to let it ruin your day. You don't have to get in a panic. You don't have to hide under the covers or under a rock, perhaps. Okay. You can just continue to do you, operating out of your place of power. All right. Your royalty, your divinity. Okay. Because all of that is most assuredly afforded unto you. Yes, but you are also part and parcel of it just the same. There's no severability there. So allow your faith to not be rocked regarding that, if you will. And I invite you, as I do almost every single time, okay, to study to show yourselves approved about some of those truths, okay? Maybe even some of those now you understand to be not so truthful truths, okay? And your understanding at the whys in that matter. Because perhaps some of you, I say this tongue in cheek, okay, perhaps, right? Or to know that so that you can share it. You can share it as your message. You can share it at an appointed time with an appointed individual that maybe in your life for only a season or two, okay? But at those appointed destiny, fate filled times, you're ready because you've done the work. You know your why. You know how it is or is not truth, right? You know how the perception of something to be or not to be of truth can be to your betterment or another's, or to your detriment, or same deal, another's, and you're able to assist and guide. Makes sense, you should. We're all connected. And again, connecting back to that same divinity. All right, so this is big stuff. Where we find ourselves in this current dispensation is big stuff. We talk about it all the time because we can, and we ought to, so that we forget not, okay? So that our faith be rocked not. Love and light, Fiona. Thanks for joining. Yeah, your actions. Okay, here's the sitch. Even in your actions and inactions, let's talk about it, because inactions just the same are actions, right? It's like, do you have an answer? Deer in headlights moment, right? That is an action. Perhaps at the root of that action of saying nothing, and really kind of wanting to get out of the present energy, conversation, the viewpoint of those that are perhaps waiting for a reply. Okay. You in those moments are choosing not to choose. You in those moments are intentionally not speaking. Okay. Now, some of you, perhaps it's like you need to work on that because you're intentionally not speaking because you don't want to shoot yourself in the foot. All right. But again, comes in the fear. Are you fearing that you'll most assuredly shoot yourself in the foot just because what? It's happened before? Does it have to happen every single time because you've done it once, two times, three times? Can you never learn a lesson? Aren't you here and still very much in existence to learn and grow your soul? And it connects back to royal divinity, the same royal divinity within you and that backs you, right? So then, shouldn't it be tangible enough evidence, because you're still here, that you are still very much to learn? And where's the problem? Well, the problem may be because you're not giving yourselves the same grace that you freely give to children, elderly, right? Animals comes to mind, firstly, right? And then maybe on a great day, you got some crumbs left over for you. Well, gone are those days, though, remember? Because when you truly know who you are and who backs you and how there's no severability there, okay, you can't help but to live a beautiful path, okay, in spite of world events, world affairs, right? Where you understand, in spite of whatever and whom all ever, rulers, principalities even come to mind, right? You are free. You are power nonetheless. You are royal divinity nonetheless. And as you keep yourselves built up in that truth of the matter, right? You get through in a beautiful way. Okay, you experience the beautification in your path. You're not just talking about it, hoping, wishing, praying, right? Even referable to prayer, you guys. A prayer of faith, truthfully, a faith filled prayer. Let's take prayer off the table. Somebody doesn't like that word, perhaps. A faith filled statement, okay, believed at its core to be the truth. You're going to live that truth out, even if it's not even truth. Ooh, that's the tricky part. And that's why, again, we go back to please and thank you. Study to show yourselves approved. Okay. You don't want to take just anybody's truth out in them streets, right? Or in the sheets. Same deal. Okay. So again, serious stuff, big stuff, but not doable things to overcome, and not unlearnable lessons, not unattainable outcomes, even referable to the miraculous. Miracles happen all the time. One's happening right now. Some of you, the fact that you found this video, some might say, if I do say so myself, could be part and parcel of the miraculous, okay? Because again, connecting back to rulers, principalities, and all of that, right? Okay, where is your head in the matter, though? Where is your faith? Okay, because at your core, you shouldn't be the one actually playing part and parcel of your own opposition by, again, shooting yourself in the foot. All right. And how can you do that? How can you know? Okay. Well, you've got to check in. Well, firstly, if you didn't even know to check in, that's kind of giving a red flag indicator. It's like, wow, because that should be part and parcel of your lifestyle. Checking in with divinity, honoring yourself. Okay. You've got to rock with you to the point where if no one else ever does, so what of it? Because you know you're never alone at this. Even in the struggle, even in the fight, okay? You're not alone at this. You've got divine universal forces backing you. You are here purposefully as a strategy by the divine. Who are you to say that the divine is not great at strategy? The divine is the ultimate strategist. Now what? Who are you to say, right, that the divine has set you up for failure? Divine don't do that. Ain't nobody got time for divinity to be divinity. Look up divinity. All right. You can take the tag words of God, goddess off the table and just look up that word divinity. Google it if you gotta. Okay. Really study to show yourselves approved, you guys. If you're using words, all right, you need to understand what you're saying. If you find that the words you've been saying and or thinking, okay, are taking from you, You need to know just the same, you are in charge to make changes. Oh, I see. I see. You know, I spoke with a lady the other day, a vendor of sorts, right? Another earth angel energy for sure. Okay, spirit highlighted her aura. Just, you know, I just saw her from across the field, as it were, right? And not gonna lie, you guys, I had probably the best time at her stand. And you know, she's somebody that didn't have a pristine, clean life, whatever that may mean, and what of it? Earth angel, nonetheless. Chills on that confirmation. Okay. And I spent maybe a few minutes under her tent there, and we talked and we engaged and we laughed. And, you know, I remarked at her works and different pieces of art and jewelry, right? But I noticed a few things about her, in spite of her strength and the way that she stood out, you know, in my spiritual eyes lens, as it were, right? The way that even divinity highlighted her to me. Hey, look over here. All right. Powerful nonetheless. Yet I did end up having to have a little chat with the lady, lovingly, of course, that's my intent. And just asked her to really just watch some of the things that she's saying. Okay, she was kind of ragging on herself a little bit. You know, she had a whole stand. She had amazing pieces, such to the point where I'm not going to ever be caught blowing smoke up anyone's anything. Just to be like, I'm not that type of person. I can't comfortably be fake. Okay, I'm sure I could, right? I can act, you know. But in my you know, left to my own devices, I'm not acting, right? If I'm telling you, hey, that's great, you're great, that's the truth, as I see it in those moments, okay? And so, just the same, the truth that I saw too was that she wasn't so grace filled towards herself the way she freely was towards others. She was quite judgy when it came to her work, her presentation of same even. And the thing is, she's pointing out things that nobody would ever know. I didn't know that she had lights to hang, that she didn't hang, right? So what of it? I didn't go, oh my gosh, everything's great, but gosh, there should be lights here, right? There was no matter to it as far as anyone else outside of her perception. Okay, she knows what she wanted to do and whether or not she did all of those steps. But see, there's a lesson in that too, because sometimes, you guys, myself included, I want to do too much, especially when it's involving creativity and fun, right? Sometimes even work, though. Right now, you guys, it's coming through. Balance is necessary. Balance in the way you think and feel about yourself and others. If you find, oh, you know what, I do freely give to everyone but me, you got to balance that out before it becomes to your detriment. Right? It's coming through as a warning, but I need you to know it's very love filled. It's not like a, you know, some sort of angry, fiery dragon breathing down on your neck, like, hey, I told you this is the last time I'm going to tell you. I got no more patience for you here, sir, bro, ma'am, sis, right? It's not that. It's all love here, right? But you guys, please take heed to it and make the changes as you see necessary. And some of you really need to take a deep, long look, all right, inside and out about you firstly. All right. I had a conversation with another very beautiful individual, and had to explain to them, like, listen, if you feel the need for any kind of revenge, all right, at the naysayers, perhaps, right, whether friend or foe, family member, or anything in between, um, I said, firstly, you want to work on that because that can't be your MO all the time. How boring would that be? And how detrimental could it get if you felt the need to have revenge of any kind, sweet or not, right? Even if validly so, punishment or judgment, some might say, should most assuredly be handed down. And what of it? Because unless and until that judgment call is your assignment, is in your lane with which you dominate there, it may not be your matter. It maybe ought not be your matter, just like the lights not being hung inside of the tent, right? Good thing I didn't know about the lights. You know, maybe I would have went there. Oh, she didn't put the lights up. You know, it would have been like a little bit more of a mid experience to shop there. I feel like that's not the case, but what if, right? Maybe if we're not talking about lights and something else plugging in there, right? Could be, okay? But the other aspect of that lesson, and really kind of ties in with the right now energy, is really to be mindful of how not to craft a lesser than vibration and or experience, okay? in fact, infuse the situation with love towards the ultimate goal of betterment, okay? Because you deserve better, especially if you find and identify, which means you're doing the work, okay? That there should be, in fact, some betterment. Just got to keep going, right? It's not a call to quit. It's not a call to, play your own opposition. Haven't you been fighting off the ops enough? Right? Make it easy now. Allow for it to be easy now. Face the fear now. The fear doesn't have to overtake you now. And it doesn't have to be your super bestie either. It's never really been your friend. It's always your foe. It always takes from you. It always hurts you. It does not ever help you to fear. And then when you can really say, you know what, I've studied to show myself approved on this. I really do understand that I really am needing balance with this whole fight or flight situation. I really do understand that as many times as I feared losing my life, I still have it. There's some tangibility in that and connects back to divine forces assisting you. You don't get through this obstacle course of life always and in all ways by yourself left to your own devices. And ain't that grand? Just saying. All right. There could be some significance to the number 731 as well as 111. Interestingly enough, when I view the screen through the device that I'm using for the live stream, it's literally looking, and sometimes this just happens, it's a spiritual thing. It's really looking like 111, but again, the angel number clock does state 731. So you could have birth dates, okay, or events, whether in the past or upcoming, okay, referable to at least that 731 number, all right? But really, 111, you guys, look at those angel numbers when you see them, please. Okay. It's really helping you to maintain your faith abilities. Okay. When you do these things, because you're getting confirmation, all right, of the very divine existence that is infused into your experience in spite of aspects of it that maybe are less than palatable. But we're working on that because sometimes you find your experience is often less than palatable because you are lacking in faith, because you are fearing the unknown, you are fearing your good standing with divine forces, you are wavering in your faith ability about your ability to receive even the miracles that most assuredly exist for you. Okay. And you really need to just almost be stubborn about it. It's like, you know what? I'm tired of making myself sick over the unknown. I don't want to just fear. I want to live. I want to not even just live. I want to thrive. I don't want to just simply survive to live another day, to fight another day, to survive to fear, to live another day, to fight another day, to survive to fear. Like, where is the fun in that? Also, where is the divine strategy in that? Like, do you think that's what divine set you up for? Just to barely get on with the getting on, kind of sort of on a midday in the middle of a mid month? No. Okay. And if that is you, you really need to change that whole programming you got rocking in your mental because you don't want to get stuck in that. And nobody wants you to create that for yourself. So please don't be that one, right? Because you're powerful enough, going back to the non severability between you and divinity, to actually create a horrific experience here. All right. To actually believe that you deserve to tolerate certain people, places, things, and mindsets that are draining you, inclusive of fear, which is not your friend. Okay. So hopefully, that's really understandable so far. I feel like I've been able to set the stage about the gist of tonight's message, but I am mindful of the hour. And so I will go on ahead and ring the bell. But I really do hope you guys, truthfully, please stick around. If you can't stick around, come back around, okay? Make time out your schedule to get the rest of this because there's some next steps. Not even just coming through the channeling, but also the cards on this, all right? And if you're part of the collective here, all right, you need to hear it, okay, at least once. This is not me on any soapbox. I don't even have a freaking microphone, you guys. I didn't even know I was going to be delivering this type of message. Okay, so bear with your girl. I'm listening too as we go along as well. But this really is, it's almost feeling like a message of blessing, right? like in the sense of like, you know what, you're approved, you're you know, you've passed, you are looked at with eyes of honor, even in the eyes of God, in the eyes of divinity, okay, in the eyes of universal energies, however you subscribe here on a personal note, collective, right? Because long and short of it, that's been the case. You've got to play catch up with your own perception about this so you can really get to the great life, not even just the good life, okay? And be mindful to craft that good life with your own intentions, okay? You know, it's like, of course, the divine has, you know, that beautiful house waiting for you. But what if you didn't realize because you didn't check in, do the work, and actually believe that it includes an infinity pool, right? And a six-car garage, right? Like, I mean, you could get the house, and when you got a house, right? Sure, it wouldn't be like super crappy. I'm sure you would have. But what if, hindsight 2020, you realize at the back end, man, I could have had the infinity pool and a six-car garage, which would be perfect because I was also already manifesting these three other cars, right? To add to the cars that I have now. You see what I'm saying? And you realize that you're worthy of it all. And you realize with your knowledge, which is also power, that you are capable, most assuredly, especially because, again, you're not here doing anything at all. Whether you think that you are, or whether it feels like you are or not, all by yourself. I don't know that we'd get through even half of the life we've already lived out without the divinity that backs us, supporting us, assisting us, whether we had awareness of it or not. All right. So please don't ever get yourself into a tizzy where you're literally believing, as if it's truth, as if it's gospel, that you have been abandoned, that you are set up for failure, that you don't have a birthright of abundance, prosperity, and peaceful Zen energy, right? But the long and the short of it is, collective, with your own perception, your own power, your stubborn will, some might say. You are very much here co creating your experience. All right. And who is divinity to get in the way of it? So, when you are using your royal divinity, your essence, your aura, your intention, your love light, your life force energy, okay, that connects back to divinity, to be stubborn about what could never happen, to be, you know, lacking faith about who and what could never back you, how you could never receive, and how you only will know pain and struggle and strife, that's most assuredly what you are ordering up using your divinity and communicating to it. And by it, I mean divinity. That's how powerful the situation always is, irregardless of your perception of it. And what I'm here to do is help assist your perception in it. Okay, because the power is already within you and upon you, especially if you found this channel, and especially if you're part and parcel of this collective. All right. Can't really say it any plainer than that. But let me check the box, you guys. Welcome in. Get comfy. All right. Much love and light to you, Lester, Fiona, and Freaky J. You guys have any questions? If not, I'm going to continue on with tonight's message so I can get us out of here. There could be some significance to the angel number 2811. Let's talk about 28 alone. 28 alone is the money for, or excuse me, is the is the number for money, yes, but legacy wealth. All right. It speaks of empire energy, big things, right? So you want to couple that with 11? Yeah, sure. I don't mind. Not at all. Not one bit. 11 speaks of wish fulfillment. All right. Manifestation energy. Okay. Magician vibes. If we're going to connect it to the tarot card, the tarot energy. And, you know, who's not here looking for a new beginning? You know, you arrived in the new earth consciousness. All right, cool. But we're still actively co creating that and bettering it and allowing for miracles to come in, right? And next level, even our own intentions at it all, even our own, you know, energy and our own blood, sweat, and tears and elbow grease, right? Could stand to be charged up by the miraculous divine occurrences that most assuredly are in the wings, just waiting for us to accept and surrender to. It's like, oh, I see now, right? I should think way less thoughts about what ifs, right? Because then I won't have the hit on my central nervous system as many times, as often, and as harshly, right? If I reject the what if hour that wants to come around, like people have happy hours, okay, in a mental space, in your mental space, okay. I mean, you could try it out But I would probably actually say, you know what, instead, just think back, because, it happened already, right? Why put yourself through it anymore? You could just think back to the last time you found yourself, like, really going around and around and around and around in that mental space over some rabbit hole, right? What if, okay, how would I come up with the money? All right, we've all been there, myself included. All right, you already know, okay? But when you learn to say, okay, this is what we're not going to do, it doesn't help anyways, it takes, okay, figure something else out. Oh, what I know is I connect back to divinity. Oh, what I know is there were times before I didn't know how I was going to eat. I didn't know how I was going to shower. I didn't know how anybody was going to find me in this ravine. I didn't know how anybody was going to find me in this car. Okay, depending on who all I'm talking to, what all you go, where you've been, and I don't need to know, what I'm saying? You can plug it in the coordinates and everything. And you're still here and able to receive this message. Isn't that alone tangible evidence of some unseen force, perhaps, right? Whether you want to call it God, Goddess, Holy Spirit, universe, source, or not, right? Backing you, yes, it is. And so when you learn to kind of like really kind of break apart the illusion, which goes like, it's you against the world, you're all alone here, always and always, nobody gives a rat's ass about you, you will die alone, like, like all of this stuff, right? Then you really can break it apart and be like, whoa, 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 whoa. Because what I know is I'm here right now. That in and of itself is a testament. And I also know that in this right now space, I am in charge enough to say what stays, what stands, what rocks me to my core or not. And now that I've identified this pattern, I keep thinking about the what ifs. I keep trying to figure out how will I get the money. I need to instead try something different. Because the definition of insanity is doing the same thing expecting different outcomes. It's not going to work. It's going to waste time. It's tiring, right? So once you kind of admit that too, you kind of need to do something different. Okay. And of course, giving up is not ever an option. So keep going. All right. Try again. Think again. Reroute your mental space again. Okay. And even if it's still a situation where it's like, I don't have an answer, you need to know if you're doing the work, okay, to keep your vibe high, to keep your faith muscles flexed, all right, if you are surrendering to divine forces and divine timing, divine timelines, then you are doing everything that you're to do in spite of the unknowns, okay? When you get into the comfortability and the confidence in spite of the unknowns, knowing you're doing the work, knowing you understand that divine still supports you because it does. Okay. That's how you're here, even receiving this message, right? Duh. Okay. Then you understand, as long as you kind of stay in the game, stay positive, it's already taken care of, even though you have no way, shape, or form to see it. And the timer just hit 33, you guys. And 33 also came out through tonight's cards for tonight's message. That's Ascended Master vibes, Ascended Master presence. All right. It is also a number often associated with Yeshua. Most call him Jesus. Okay. Who was definitely an alchemist, wand and all, though they're not going to tell you that at church. But just saying, okay? So again, going back to study to show yourselves approved, because I could tell you everything and what of it. You've got to know it for you. All right. Your actions, someone is watching. Here's the other side of that proverbial coin here. On top of understanding you've got your part to play in actioning out, all right, keeping the baby steps a thing, right, instead of just deer in the headlights, no choice, no decision, doing nothing, right? And understanding, all right, to put your best foot forward, and as long as you do that, okay, you're doing everything you can in that moment, and that's well and good. If you can't get yourself there, I need you to know here's why. Because you're not sure and you're not certain that divinity backs you or even exists, maybe some of you, right? You got to face that fear, right? Maybe some of you are more comfortable to think like that because, God forbid, God was watching. God forbid you found out that all of divinity believes in you more than you do. Maybe there's some fear about success. When I get to the top, is that the end? Do I just fizzle out? Right? And even then, doesn't that sound like a what if? So it's giving lack mindset, lack mentality. Even take money off the table. We're talking success. Success is not always connected to that bank account or that wire transfer. That's why a lot of people with a lot of money would pay for some of that spiritual wealth you got. They can't. That's why they hate you. Whether you got money coming to you or not, your spiritual wealth, your spiritual wealth, the transfer you've already received, right? Trumps any dollar, any coin, any bit, or whatever's out there anymore. I can't even keep up. Okay. And also, you are here connecting back to that divine strategy, that divine purpose to assist others who you are also connected, okay, in spirit and in truth to. All right. So, of course, there's eyes on you. In the religious community, we were taught, to be likened to that of Yeshua, Jesus. Okay. So it's like, even then, you were talked about having eyes on you. So no difference here, okay, for those that are really trying to figure out, okay, now what's actually the truth from one arena, from one religious sect, from one dimension even to another, all right? Um, I'm also getting, if and when you are in the process of studying to show yourself approved and it's getting tiring and it's getting overwhelming, you need to take a step back. Because even then, you may be overarching the energy, right? Overarching the masculine energy, perhaps, right? We've all got masculine and feminine, regardless of your meat suit, your avatar, all right, your body, and sexual preference and orientation. So serious, you guys, okay? And so, masculine energy is like, come hell or high water, I'm going to hunt and gather, I'm going to club that fish over the side of its, little nugget there, and I'm going to take it home and tear it up. And, and so when you are overarching any energy, you're not allowing room for that balanced flow. And so the goal there is to balance it out so that you receive maximum benefit. Well, what's maximum benefit? It's giving all of your goals, wishes, dreams, fulfillment, and more. Okay. God, goddess, okay, divinity, source, okay, universal energy will most assuredly at least meet you where you're at, but often um, even give you more than what you were bargaining for, begging and pleading for, perhaps. Okay. Because you are that loved, you are that supported, yes, but because you are that much of it. So please, fear is not your friend. All right. Just the same way I would advise about arrogance, not your friend. If you get to the point where you're going, I'm not needing to be open-minded because I know everything, I teach about this, you're not making room to be taught. And we are still here, even in real time, to learn and grow our soul. It's how we go, whew, it's okay, we don't have to know everything. It's not part of the plan. That's why we come with a veil. It's part of the whole thing here. Okay? So don't be that one either on the other end of that spectrum. Okay, talking about, I'm good, I know everything. There's nothing else I need to get from anything outside of me. I'm never going to say that. All I'm saying is don't be that one to say, I need something outside of me firstly. That's toxic just the same. Balance, ebb and flow, in and out. Okay. And there's something coming through about purging. We've got death, the Eight of Wands, to the Star card. All right. Shadow work comes to mind just off of the strength of the death card, okay? Whether you got red hair or look like Skeletor or not, okay? This is really talking about simultaneous rebirth, not even just death. However, both are necessary for the process. The process of what? Transformation, okay? With the Justice card underneath the transformation, it's giving you do your little baby steps version of your part, and bam, divine breakthrough assistance, new life, new health, new wealth, new mental state. That there's no lack here. I mean, the star, how are you going to be the star and lacking? Especially when the star is being paired with another major arcana, divine breakthrough assistant ace. What? Pentacles, yes, but new lease on life. New understanding of the power of self within and upon. All right. Ancient Egypt may have some significance. Sun god Ra may have some significance. Okay. You are really in your next steps here. Starting right now, in for a treat, because that justice has a hell of a lot of clarity to it. You know what I like to say about clarity is it's power filled. Okay, so this is almost like if we were playing like what, Super Mario Brothers or something. You get like a mushroom or something, you get like a gold coin, you just power up, right? Yes, keep going, star, or the guy, girl, what have you. Okay, whether you got pink hair or not, there could be some significance of the pink hair. All right, just saying. But you guys, right now, here's the sitch. Okay, if you don't do the work, all right, where's the death card? Ooh, ooh, ooh. There's a significance to that because I just had it. All right, Two of Wands. Okay, really talking about making a decision to do what. I can't find the card, so I'll show you the other side of the energy that I pulled for this aspect of the message. Okay, this is the epitome of an illustration that can easily be connecting to that shadow work, facing self. Okay, facing your dark side. We talked about masculine, feminine. We didn't talk about light and dark. They too need balance. All right, and you need them all. Okay, why? Because you were created as all. Because God, source, universe is all. All right, all powers belong. Dot dot dot. Right, all creativity refracting back to source. All right, so it stands to reason that you've got all of that within you. That's why it's very important to know what all's in there. Left unchecked, man, you might have a whole experience you weren't even bargaining for. It's like, oh my goodness, thought it was a good day. Next thing you know, it's a Jekyll and Hyde situation because somebody triggered something in you that maybe you allowed to have a little bit of a hold over you. Whether you were readily admitting that or not, whether you were aware of that or not. Should you risk not knowing what all you got rolling around in your dome space, your heart space, right? Just to avoid doing a little bit of the work? No, and here's why. Not only is that risky because you could have a whole, I don't know, it's giving vengeance situation, right? God forbid something actually popped out of you and like caused havoc, right? But you know, words hurt, actions hurt. Can't really unsqueeze that toothpaste tube, right? Just saying. Okay, so there's that. But also, hold on, right? Because it ain't even about others first. This is still about you to you. All right. Your manifestations, your wishes fulfillment, your dreams, your goals. Very much at stake here. If you should choose to avoid doing the prerequisite baby steps, even, you guys, this isn't like, hey, here's the thing, you're gonna have to actually hop off one planet or one rock to get on to the next, and you've got to go through the lake of fire to, like, no, right? However, let's be honest, some of you might even depending on what all you got to face and what all you got to tame, might think lake of fire might be easier. Here's the sitch. The longer you think that, that's the experience you're signing up to receive. Please stop that. Please don't make it any harder. However, I'm not here saying it's easy. I'm saying it's doable and it's time. Okay? So make the decision, okay? Because if not, you're risking the 10 of Cups, whether you want a family and bambinas or not, okay? Whether you want somebody tatted next to you or not, whether you want somebody next to you or not. This 10 of Cups, I tell my collective all the time, you can get to the 10 on your own and watch, okay? Don't fall for the hype talking about, well, I need somebody to complete me. Well, unless and until I have A, B, C, and D, this much money, this amount of health, right? Bro, you're really shooting yourself in the foot if you can't get there mentally before you get there physically. Okay? Cheat code, free game, however you need me to say this, but that's the truth. Facts. Okay? So, but here's the positive spin on that. You don't need to wait till you see everybody physically lined up around you that's worthy, that actually loves you, that actually fucks with you, that actually doesn't abuse you, that actually doesn't mistreat you, that actually doesn't overlook you, that actually tries and listens and actually performs reciprocity before you can mentally understand that because you know it exists somewhere, it exists for you, and you only need call it in by being grateful and aligning with the frequency and the version of you and the timeline that it would take all right, which is still very much a possibility, especially you being on the great side of karma with the powerful AF divinity that backs you, which is also part of you and running through you. Okay, what will you now? Is it still unattainable? Is it still such a miraculous miracle that you won't see it this incarnation? Maybe the next time. Then that's your truth. As truth as it may not be, if you perceive it hard enough with your Two of Wands energy to make the decision that no, that's set in stone. That is the case. All right. Here's the sitch though. You could still use just as much energy, not more. Please don't fall prey to the illusion about this. To say, I'm taking my Two of Wands and come hell or high water, I'm stubborn AF about the fact that I know I'm grateful that this exists for me right now. And I don't need to see it first. That's how powerful you are. You can create it with the power of belief. You can create it with understanding what the truth really is, that you are part of divinity, that divinity does back you, that you are the apple of God's eye. Say it how you need to, but allow for it to be your truth, such to the point where you live it out because you are here to do that. The divine has given you permission to do that. That's how you're here. That is how you're here. You've already been granted the permission. You've already been the chosen. You've already been the curse breaker. So please don't fall prey to any illusion now about, I don't know. So you're telling me, like religion tells me, the second I fall out of line with trying to baby step towards my baby step next goal, then it's all hell, fire, and brimstone. Then it's all back to square one. Then it's all I'm asked out and abandoned and alone here. No, that's the illusion. Quite unfortunately, some people choose to teach that illusion over and over and over again. That's why it's very important to study to show yourselves approved at this. That's why we talk about the Hermit coming out a lot. It's also why we talk about the Four of Swords a lot, because people with agendas and people who are hurt and people who are misled can intentionally and unintentionally hurt you if you are not built up in your own faith, if you are not studying to show yourselves approved, if you are fuckwithable, okay, especially regarding your faith in the matter. And that's why we talk about this so often on this channel. Please don't be that one that doesn't, okay? Because if and when you find yourself in that type of footing, I need you to know that ain't no is nothing better than a faulty foundation at best. Who wants to build a new earth consciousness on a faulty foundation? Not divinity. That's not even part of the divine strategy. Maybe for the karmics, not for us. Okay, so please know that so that you can actually action out of that in spite of the unknowns. All right, in spite of looking to the left or to the right and maybe perhaps not seeing in the physicality what already exists for you in the spiritual. All you got to do is pull it in. It's just like how people make music. You just got to channel it in, right? Whether you're talking even parts of the layers of a song, right? Somebody's writing the lyrics, somebody else is doing the drum line, perhaps, okay? But it's all being pulled from somewhere. Same type of understanding or ideation or practice referable to your other aspects of beautifying your path, whether through the arts or not, just in general, by using that Two of Wands energy, by using your time wisely to actually heal, not just band-aid out, not just check out because of the resultant after effects of trauma. I get it. There are many varying types of PTSD. Okay, many of us, I'm not here to word curse, but if you look up and study to show yourselves approved, we are overcoming many forms of PTSD. Again, chosen ones didn't really have the roses and candy path of life. Okay, which makes us what? All the more powerful. Not a victim, a victor. Okay, and such to the point that we can assist each other. Okay, to what? Build this new earth, and not in a mid half-assed manner, right? Because those that are really actively doing the work, You know you deserve so much more. And I'd like to say, I'll speak for myself, but I'd like to say for all of us at this juncture, even now, you guys, right? There's no way in hell we could settle for less than at this point. We've done too much, come too far, right? We've seen through the veil enough. Okay, and I understand we're, depending on who all we're talking about at different parts of the path here, but really it's high time you guys really understand that you are big-ish. Okay, that divine does actually f with you. Okay, rocks with you, is part and parcel of you. All right, and there's really nothing at this point that can take it away other than your perception, your choosing, if you will, to surrender and or fall prey to the illusion, which goes like the second you step out of line according to the word of such and such and such and such and such and such outside of you. All right, then you're stepping into a realm which is basically born out of man-made ideation, agenda, and dare I say control. Right? Now, I'm not here saying from one text to the next that it's 1,010% falsities. Again, I invite you most assuredly to study to show yourself approved. Cross reference the text, okay? Really ask your own inner guidance. Really ask that same Holy Spirit you were taught to ask in church, even, right? It's all connected. The detriment would be to not do any of that and just fall prey to, well, whatever happens, happens. I'm fine. Then don't ever complain and be grateful to go on ahead and put a period at the end of that sentence, at the end of that chapter, at the end of this incarnation, and, move on in love and in light. Because I don't know with that type of mentality you get to really stay anyway. Not in New Earth consciousness anyway. All right. And if you're here for what you came for, all right, could be the bag, as some say, could be everything in the bag, with the bag, right? However, you need to kind of use the phraseology to identify your dreams or perhaps your goals, wishes, fulfillment, okay, for you, yourself, of course, and even those connected to you that you know and love. That's what's writing on this. And by this, it's going back to that two of wands, you making the decision to overcome the fear, to face yourself, to search for the truth, okay? And your divine guidance team, whether you call them God, Goddess, Holy Spirit, Jesus, Yeshua, Buddha, all right, or not, okay, um, is right in front of you, okay? Because it's basically with you, all right? But you've got to hermit it out, you guys. Hermit energy talks about really making room to kind of face you, to get to know you, to ask God about you, as it were, right? To ask some of those harsher questions and face some of those harsher aspects of self as well as your reality, and put your coach hat on. What are we going to do about this? How are we going to maintain positivity in such hellfire, even some of you are going through? And not even necessarily, here's the kicker, because, oh, well, you karmically asked for that. Oh, you were playing dummy games and now you've got to deal with dummy prizes. No, in the sense of going back to the rulers, principalities, and all of that, and spiritual warfare. You guys, this life is far more spiritual than anyone may ever tell you outside of you. Okay? Than many of you, even in these moments, may even currently realize. And that's again the heed, the call. Oh, I kind of want to give demand, but man feels like it's not loving enough. And I need you to know this message is backed with a whole lot of love. All right. Divine definitely doesn't want you to go through any more brutalization, events, horrific nature uh, of anything that you've already faced. Okay. The whole goal for right now, in the right now moment when you receive this message, all right, is to understand that all of that you could just let go of, and you can just really just be free. I mean, I talked about this being divine breakthrough resistance. Okay, this is a new path. This is the miracle. This is the miraculous. Okay, often depicted in many traditional, like Rider Waite tarot comes to mind, right? With the hand out of the sky, it's like nobody but God, nobody but divinity, nothing short of a miracle. You got justice even before you got this. Do you understand the synchronicity in that, babe? You had the justice before you could see even just steps ahead, baby steps even, right? The new path. So it's okay if you can't see those steps. If it's okay if you can't see beyond that last mountain, perhaps, right? But no, it's your last because the justice is already here. Oh, I hope somebody's getting this. The justice is already here for you, and because it exists, of course it exists for you all, each and every one of you. Unless and until you say no, not for me. I just refuse it. I just don't believe. I'm just going to be stubborn, and I don't want to be hope filled. It takes too much energy to be hope filled. Whole time you're expending the same amount of energy, and see, please don't fall prey to that illusion to just be positive about it. Now, I didn't say it's a try. It is a try again experience often. But so what of it? Because the message still stands. It's the same amount of energy. You just got used to, or maybe dare I say more aptly stated, addicted to utilizing your energy in the lesser than, lower density energy way, which produces more bad fruit, more lack, more sickness, more delays, still the same amount of energy being expended. You're just better at it, perhaps. And I'm not here to word curse. I'm trying to dumb it down so you really can make this decision clear cut. So you really understand your why in this. This is not me or anyone coming through the channeling intending to make you feel like you are being handed your ass. Okay. However, if you don't face you about this, then don't take this justice now. I don't know however else to say it. It's like, who the hell would say, yeah, no, I definitely don't want the justice. But yet many of you rocking through the fears and the what ifs, that's what you're telling divine forces, the universe, God, goddess, higher selves, however you subscribe here, that's the vibe. That's the vibration, the frequency, the non-justice for 500, Alex. Love and light, Mr. I'm not trying to bring Jeopardy into this, but this is kind of giving Jeopardy, right? But it's like your life and the bag and the stuff in it and the ways that you can bless the people you know and love, right? Like it's a lot riding on this, okay? So please, whatever you're facing, you got to face it. Whatever you're avoiding, you need to avoid it and infuse love light into the situation. Not combing over what do I have on the inside of me that I can just really just beat the crap out of, right? The phoenix doesn't rise out of the ashes from beating the crap out of itself. It went through enough. To be clear, phoenix currently rising from the ashes. You went through enough. Okay? So there's no call to like make it any worse for you here. All right. But there is a call to take heed before it could get worse. Okay. If you continue to stay in the non decision aspect of whatever you've not been making decisions about. Okay. It's really that serious, you guys. Self affirmation, our thoughts and spoken words motivate our actions. All right. Find quotes that assist you. All right. Today I picked up something and it said something. I don't have it memorized. Forgive me, but it was like, work, save, travel, repeat. And I talk about it all the time. I really do want to start crossing off some of those things on my bucket list, as it were. I really do expect to travel in the near future. I really do expect to meet a lot of beautiful people, yourselves included. I've got so many plans, right? And certain days it is easier to be positive about those plans than others. So of course I relate to you collectively as a whole. I get it on a personal note, right? But assist yourselves. It's like, okay, what can I do differently even while you're assisting yourselves? Okay, maybe you already have some of those quotes and affirmations. Maybe you've looked at them long enough, you don't even look at them anymore. Maybe you need new ones. Maybe you need something else. Find it. Get your fire back, you guys. Okay. Unboxing emotions. If you know you've been blocked off and stagnant, you don't know the last time you meditated or prayed or even felt hope filled, let alone positive. These would be indicators that you're not checking in. All right. And of course, you've got some pent up energy, of course it would be inclusive of emotions. So before you go saying so quickly, no, that's not me. Love's talking about emotions. That's probably, and because I don't even cry that much. That could be your whole problem. Maybe you need to ugly cry. Maybe you need to look in the mirror and watch yourself do it. So that what? You can beat yourselves up? No, that's the illusion. That's just what the world will do for you. Haven't you experienced that enough? Again, remember it was a call to infuse love light and caring concern and, grace filled. The very energies and essence you so freely toss away from you and expect others to give back in reciprocity. Here's the sitch. If you're doing that, you're going about it the wrong way. If you want people to give you reciprocity, you've got to give to you what you're looking for from anyone else down the line. All right? Because here's the sitch, if you're looking for anything from anyone outside of you, you better be ready, able, and already doing it for you to you. How unfair would it be to expect someone outside of yourself to serve you in the ways that you would never serve you? What sense does that make? Okay? I hope somebody's getting this, right? Because I don't really want to find evidence of someone saying so freely, everyone treats me this way. No one actually gives me reciprocity, because I need you to know at the root of that, you're the cause. All right. This life is far more spiritual, yes, but it's also a tool of reflection. What's going on the within space of you? What do you tolerate from you? Oh, you don't like it when you get you from another person? Why is that? You don't like your own energy? You don't like you? And some of you need to actually check yourselves. If I gave me my energy, would I like me? Would I serve me in the way that I so freely expect others to serve me? Do I serve me that way? Should I even have the audacity to expect another to serve me in a way that I would never even think to serve me? Right? Oh, but they said they love you. Yeah, because you're basically setting the scene up that maybe they should. Maybe they feel pressured to speak that out, right? But you're so quick to say, well, because they said that, right, then they should love me. Do you know what love is? Do you truthfully, wholly love you? Such to the point where you can identify whether they're saying they love you or not, is actually capable of loving and in the same measure and degree and purity that you give. Really get to the root of these, okay? Here's why: so that you can get the love of your life, so that you can actually lay claim to experiencing all you came here to experience. And it starts with you. Now, here's the stitch. Some of you maybe need to go on ahead and get an accountability partner, right? Again, not somebody to do the work for you, but somebody that you can gather, even if on here, you guys, to talk about how you are doing the work. Don't gloss over when you're doing the work as well. I mean, where's the reward in just doing the work? It's getting grueling by the end of just doing the work. There's no celebration. Like, it's like, imagine reading a book, right? Textbooks even come to mind, and it's like, okay, made it to chapter 23, and you're just like, yeah, made it to chapter 23. I don't know about you, Collective, but if I'm reading some material, especially if it's like a textbook, I would celebrate, yay, I made it through to that assignment, whatever, teacher would say, read up to chapter 15. Oh, I read up to chapter 15. Sometimes I'd be like, I even read past chapter 15. Like, celebrate, because for me personally, reading wasn't the most fun thing I could do. I'd rather sing, you know? Um, I'd rather do other forms of communication. Okay. And so, plug in what works for you to make sense of that. Okay. But really assist yourselves by being honest about what does and does not work for you as well. Some of you perhaps could never, okay, general collective. So, uh, sidecar of precaution here. Utilize your own intuition, of course, that trumps any reading and any reader, right? Some of you maybe wouldn't really work so well with an accountability partner, okay? But you can be your own accountability partner by putting dates and times into your calendar. Hey, where are you on this project? Did you actually find the answer to these three things regarding the business plan that you're currently creating, regarding the book that you're currently creating, regarding the script that you're currently writing? Do you know if and when you get the green light for these things, what the next steps are? Or will you be delaying your response time because you didn't properly set yourself up for success? Okay? Accountability and authenticity will get you far. Okay? Avoidance and band-aiding the F out of the situation to the point where you're just checked all the way out. Not so much. Okay, so again, please don't be in the insanity loop. Feed forward. Criticism focuses on the past, feedback focuses on the future. All right. So again, it's not a call to beat yourself up about what you did in the past. The past don't exist anymore. Truthfully, the future doesn't yet either. All we have is the right now. That's why it's so important to do the work to actively co-create your part, because there are infinite possibilities out there for the end of any one of your incarnations as well as timelines. That's why it's really important to hone in, master your vibration. You want to go as high as possible, right? And as honest and authentically as possible. Authenticity, they just found out scientifically in seriously recent months, maybe a year ago, maybe, that is a stronger frequency than that of even love, which was touted as the greatest of all time, right? I'm not here to crap on love. You all know I love love, like I really do. Okay. However, it makes sense why, from one authentic person to the next, I'm sure you could share in the sentiment, why authenticity isn't always palatable to most. It's a pretty strong vibe. That's why they say your light can trigger demons. Try authenticity with that light too. Just saying, right? Not for the faint at heart, definitely not for the weak either. Okay? And you are not. Healing, when life knocks you down, address your wounds and assess your pains. Okay? Not the sense of woe is me. I am Victor, number one victim of all to be. Like, no. Right? You can be Victor, you can be Vicky, as long as you understand that that is the victorious version of the aspect of that ball of wax that you have overcome. All right. And maybe some might more aptly say are overcoming. I like to go on ahead and get it done mentally so I know I can expect it down the line, just to be clear, right? And that's where you guys really want to watch, even those that are really, consistently speaking out your affirmations. Are they the highest vibrational version of the affirmation, or is it an affirmation of this is coming? This is coming, okay? Because you might want to go on ahead and claim it. It's yours. It exists because it exists. It exists for you. The divine's waiting for you to receive it, but you're telling the universe, it's coming now. It's coming. It's probably tomorrow. I'm sorry, which tomorrow? It's been 13 years of tomorrow, ma'am. And then you got to realize, oh, at the root of that, I was kind of ordering that to always be pending, buffering at best. Once you realize that, again, call is not to build the call is not to beat yourself down, it's to build yourself up. Clearly. Okay, so just fix it and move on and get to the getting on, like the great stuff. Okay, you can do it. You're being asked to, you've got permission to do it. You just got to do your part. What was the part again? Okay, well, it was things like keeping your faith muscles flexed, studying to show yourself approved, okay, understanding your why, understanding your truth in the matter, understanding that you are unfuckable, understanding that you are a royal divinity in a meat suit having a human-like experience, okay? And what of it? Because you are still on the great side of karma, divinity does back you. You are expected to co-create a beautiful experience, not a mid experience, not a horrific pending experience where one day, someday never comes, and you're just still expected to be grateful for nothing because you're just stuck in a loop. All right. Or the other side of that coin, which goes like, I'm mad at God because now God don't exist because I've been saying for 39 years that this was coming in, that my justice was going to be tomorrow. Yeah. Yep. You did that with your powerful ass. You pended the justice that already existed, and divine was like, man, I got this. I'm holding it for you, but I really want to kind of just place it over in your neck of the woods here. But you're talking about it's coming, I guess, tomorrow. It's ordered again for tomorrow. And don't be that one to be all twisted up with your boxers or your panties, right? With your words. with your intentions. Don't be all checked out expecting to be at the top of the ladder of success when you don't even have a business plan. You don't even know what the next steps would be. You just know that you know someday you're going to get to that top and it's going to be great. Don't shoot yourselves in the foot, you guys. However, in each and every one of you, I really implore you to search. How are you shooting yourself in the foot? Best believe I'm going to be doing the work with y'all. Y'all already know me, okay? But to be clear, figure it out so that you can fix it. Not so that you can say, you know what, I just got to surrender to it and fall prey to it, lay down my life to it, and just be about that now. No, okay? Knowledge is power. I think we've already said that during the session alone. So use it, okay? And you know, if nothing else, you guys, that's that whole saying of use it or lose it. Man, if that ain't the most dumbed down truth. Think about it, right? You spend years not using something, whether it's knowledge, a body part, right? A skill. You're going to at least get rusty, okay? If not lose it altogether, all right? Um, you look at, you know, not to be rude, but I mean, I don't know. I'm just thinking like senior citizen vibes, right? You know, some people's necks are stuck in certain positions and stuff. And I get it. There's medical conditions. And please don't come for me. I'm not coming for anybody. It's an observation about a generic group of individuals, to be clear, right? So hopefully senior and or citizen wasn't trigger words, but if it is, you got to work on that and get to the why of that too. Anywho, moving along, right? If you don't move your body, right, chances are it settles in some really wonky positions, okay? Arthritis comes to mind. You get conditions and bends and bumps and knobbies and, you know, some people even with their Achilles tendon, it's like, oh, you sit, you squat all day, you're never stretching out, you're never strengthening, lengthening. The tendon can shorten up to an unnatural length, okay, or lack thereof. Then you got problems about that. It's the same ideology and understanding behind that. If you don't use it, chances are you can lose it. Okay. You know, make it make sense for you. But if you don't, you guys, here's the epitome in pictorial vision of what you're going to live out. Look at the fucking neck, bruh. It's like he didn't use some. I just now caught that. Like, hold on. Is he really bent over? He really is bent over. Look at the spine curl, right? It's giving cheese puff at best of some sorts, okay? Not skeleton, not man walking upright, living in his best timeline with his ultimate power, right? Just to be clear. The choice is yours, but you got a lot of happiness riding on this. You've got a lot of miracles, abundance, blessings riding on this. Some might say you've got the whole world riding on this for you. And you know, we're here in New Earth energy, consciousness, conscious based, okay, to create our tailor made utopia. Co create, to be clear. Again, we're not here to even do that all by ourselves, all alone, always and in all ways. Very supported at this time, you guys. You really need to get stubborn in your faith about that, okay? And you know what? With this Justice card energy, I'm going to go out on a limb and say, if you actually ask for confirmation about this, right, you'll receive it. Just like if you believe that this justice is for you, it is your justice. All you need to do to receive it is to believe. Isn't that great? Like, you don't even have to climb up to the hill to be like, okay, beyond yonder, seems like chances are, you know, there might be a ley line over there. If you travel over to the right far enough, go down the bank, you might, you know, it's like, what? I'm already lost. Do we have to go somewhere? Do you need a camper or the rocks there, right? It's given, you know, a lot of work, even it feels like, okay. And that's not the case because justice was already here before you got to the new beginning, which is divine breakthrough assistance. Again, not a situation, path, lifestyle, or even mentality where you've got to navigate always and always by yourselves all alone because divinity is backing you the whole time as well as in you the whole time, and that is the truth. Okay, so please don't fall prey to the illusion which tells you anything other than that. And again, studies show yourselves approved. All right, If you're looking for the information, okay, if you're asking for the guidance, the confirmation, you need to know you've already got it, just like you've already got the justice. And what that means is fear not. Go ahead and ask. Ask God some of the hard questions if you got it. Ask your angels to show you a yellow turtle or something, you know, almost unheard of, perhaps. And I say that there's probably like 20 yellow turtles out there. Forgive me. I don't know why it came through like that. But, you know, let's see, you know, maybe you could ask to see a purple spotted owl, right? And it's like, I don't know that in nature that ever exists. Divine can still make somebody create a sticker about it, an oracle card with owl with polka dots. Perhaps stranger things have happened. You could have a dream that you talked to one with polka dots and you counted how many. It was so realistic and lifelike because you went to another dimension, because the divine backs you and loves you that much to make sure you have the experience, to make sure your health is restored, to make sure your business gets off the ground, to make sure that 28 stands, that legacy wealth, that empire, that new assisted divine breakthrough life, energy, path, lifestyle, version of yourselves, and consciously, all right, all you need is to decide, what is your truth? Does justice stand for you? Why? You better know why, so that your faith is unfuckable in your why, in your truth. It's really that simple. All right. So that's what I have for you tonight, you guys. I actually pulled the deck for the names and chart placements, but really, my goodness, you know that was for you. So um, maybe start doing some of the work now by confidently agreeing, yeah, that message was for me. I receive it. Justice stands, right? Justice stands for me. And many of you, in many ways, just the same, you are justice. It's really that simple. And you can really be confident in that. Unless you choose not to. The choice is yours. So you guys, for those that maybe don't know what to do, right, check the description box below, please and thank you, so that you can get your free yes no tarot question on tonight's live stream if that is your preference. Okay, love and light, you guys. Love and light, Mariana. Love and light, Eat Me. Love and light, Country Love. Oh, let's see here, Fiona. Wow. Fiona, come on now. Okay. Here's the sitch. You've got all three yes cards, right? The first of which I wanted to talk about, I was guided to talk about, was actually at the bottom of the deck, all right? And that is the Queen of Swords. But what came out simultaneously, like literally at the same time, is that beautiful Sword of Archangel Michael. All right, really the most yesy yes out of any freaking deck. Okay, the most clarity filled yes. And boy, oh boy, if that one enough, pairing it with the Magician, I'm pretty sure you get the vibe on that one. So, you know, if you feel like maybe you need a little bit more understanding or education in order to write that book, please ask for assistance on that, right? Once you identify maybe some aspects of next steps, you guys, even if you're writing a book or not writing a book, okay? Whatever it may make sense to plug in there for what you got going on, please ask. Please know as you ask, you already most assuredly are receiving, especially because you guys, you're not karmics living in Karmicville, right? Playing dummy games intentionally ever, right? And not even wanting to be part and parcel of anything like a dummy prize. Chances are, yeah, of course, justice should stand for you. You want to write a book? Okay, justice. You want to write a song? Justice. Okay. You want to cook a meal? Justice. Start a business? Justice. Do whatever. Live. Love. Justice. Unless and until you believe otherwise and experience that out as truth, which you do have free will to do. And that's why I'm always begging with you guys, please. choose what your intuition is saying, okay? It's not here to steer you wrong, okay? The intuition is never the op. Now, your ops never want you to use your intuition, all right? But the intuition, your intuition in and of itself is not your op, okay? You can best believe that one. Ooh, okay, let me see here. Eat me. Look at the Queen of Pentacles. Do you understand that? That's your yes, babe. That's your yes. Get out of here. All right? This ain't you. Remember? If it tries to be you, you say, no, that's not me. Justice. All right? And you're going to have to do it over and over again, perhaps. It's okay. Just do it, though. Justice. That's for you, Eat Me. You deserve that for sure. Eat Me, you better watch that movie, The Secret, and plug in your own coordinates and just do a refresher. I know you watched it, but I want you to keep your mental in a way where you're not ruminating about the obvious, right? Because you guys, Eat Me and anyone who can make sense of this, a lot of times, and really if you tie it into tonight's message, even in current energies, okay, you just really don't want to be focusing on the illusion, okay? I don't know what you guys have been hearing in the spiritual community, but what I've been hearing is basically like, you know, it might even be in current energies. It might be the situation where the wheat actually was already sifted from the tear, referable to new earth versus old earth. And again, you guys, we're not talking about hopping rocks and planets. We're talking about conscious based. Even if you don't want to say it that way, right? Maybe the window, the portal energy, right? Still open right now. You guys don't want to look to the left, to the right too much. You don't want to look outside of you firstly. I'm not saying don't look outside and don't pay attention. I'm saying firstly. You better know your truth and why you know it. Because many of you could find yourselves in situations where no one else around you is going to be able to understand you in that real time and space. And it goes to the shift. All right. And dare I say that sifting the wheat from the tear, it's the dispensation, the current energies, and it's a necessity. Okay. We've talked about it since day one. Not everybody is able to go where we are going, where we have gone. Hence the hatred and jealousy. All right. Look what just came out of the deck, you guys. This is really a new path, more divine breakthrough assistance. It's really talking about a new life. Okay, the Ace of Wands in particular, you guys. And look what's at the bottom of the deck, you guys. Okay, it's that illusion energy. It's also the reason why we're not really being called to look to the left and to the right too much. You understand? Focus on what is already yours. All right, tunnel vision, so that you don't have to endure any more than what you've already fought out of, than what you've already overcome. You've already won. Love and light prayer, love and light country love. Okay, let me see here. Let me scroll back, you guys. Let me see. I don't want to skip over anyone. Okay, so country love. Okay, is Andrea a good friend to have? Ooh, that's a good question. You guys, pay attention to your pay attention to how you feel around people. Ooh, we're getting a maybe. All right, so bottom of the deck is country love, indicating yes, but it's talking about communication here. So the only card to come out in answer to your yes, no was a maybe, right? But this is really talking about decisions. So the long and the short here is it's really giving you need to decide about maybe aspects of communication that you've yet to communicate needing to come out, and or maybe communicating about ways to better communicate, or the preference behind the communication. Okay. And on the other side of that, perhaps more clarity. And I went back to the Ace of Wands. All right, so maybe, it gets better on the other side of that little bit of communication, or straightening things out, or clearing out the air, right? Because here's the what if it's a situation where just generically, country love, because I'm just also using this time to like help all of us relate to this, but it's like, what if somebody is on the spectrum of sorts? Maybe they're like neurospicy, and guess what? Just like from one person who has a certain type of sexual preference to the next, you can't say that they are built the same, wired the same, have the same preferences, have the same goals, have the same like workings, inner workings even comes to mind, right? And so sometimes you do have to communicate about how better to communicate. And sometimes you got to do that maybe a couple of times, but it doesn't have to immediately mean, oh, just because we've had to work at communication means we just definitely never can communicate. Just give up now and just never have a connection, because you could be really missing out on a wonderful connection, a wonderful friendship, or otherwise, right? And you just don't want to be that one to miss out on some of the things and the niceties about this life that it does have to afford you, and maybe even owes you on the other side of a little bit of work or communication. Okay, so that's what I get here. But there is some aspect I am seeing that maybe is hidden about this person, whether it's something that they have to share with you or not. It could be, again, you learning this person's affect, that can help you really kind of avoid any of those awkward moments or any of those triggers that really make you wonder, like, should I actually be messing with this person, right? Okay, let me just see 1 second here. Would you love? All right. So as far as, should you, because that's maybe even a better question. I mean, not that it's a contest. This is me just trying to help you out, country love, because it felt like open-ended. Should you try and so the Knight of Wands coming out in answer to yes, and Queen of Cups on the bottom of the deck indicating like maybe you already even know how you would try to communicate, or how to maybe you just needed the confirmation that you should put in a little bit of the work. And as I say that, gosh, that's pretty clear. And now the star is at the bottom of the deck, which I can't show her, but all's well that ends well, they say, right? Hopefully that makes sense, country love. Also what? All right. Okay, let me see. Did I skip over anybody, Fiona? I think we're good, right? No, Prayera. Here we go. So sorry, Prayera. Much love and light. Thank you for your patience. Let's see about our contacting you in this week. Okay. Ooh, or might fancy you quite nicely, because I was drawn to that star card energy that's still on my table. And I do have a very wandy yes, okay? This person may actually be a little bit older than you. It doesn't have to be the case. But I do see them looking at you on the logic side, as well as like on the more serious side, a collaborative side, whether, informal or formal, like a marriage. Doesn't have to be the case, okay? This could be also even talking about like, hey, as far as viewing you as someone that they even want to be around a lot, it's giving they've made the assessment and they do believe that to be the case. That is something that they would not only want, but they will most assuredly be contacting you about this. But the reason why I say that, honey bun, in case you're wondering what the cards were, it's the Three of Wands, the King of Pentacles, and the King of Cups simultaneously coming out. The bottom of the deck, the Seven of Coins. All right. So that's what I have for you. Love and light to you, Prayera, as well as R. Okay, I'm glad it was clear for you, country love. Yeah, my pleasure. Happy to help you guys. I just wanted to be sure that I actually hit these moon cards, because I feel like I did not. And I know that the new moon came out, so I just want to know. Yeah, there's something that I didn't actually go over with you guys. Forgive me. I understand if you can't stay, but I do hope you stick around if you can, you guys. You're very welcome, Prayara. Here's the sitch, okay? The Stay Open-Minded came out. right? This is kind of where you are in the now space, okay? This is kind of what's being asked of you when you do the shadow work, inner, as well as just in general course, okay, about your, habits and patterns, okay, even outside of the thought space, all right? And this card, the Oracle states, your soul is in a constant state of evolution. All right. It evolves in the spirit world as well as in the physical, but it is in the physical destinations like Earth that your soul grows exponentially. And we talked about that, right? Most people call it like something like into like of like a Earth school, right? Here to learn and grow our souls. Okay. The lessons you learn while experiencing the illusion of separateness are so profound, and the paths that unfold before you can be surprising. That's why it is important to be open to change. New people, new ways of living, new beliefs, and new events are always a part of the soul's journey on earth. That's exactly what we talked about is just up ahead, right? No, it's right now. The just up ahead was the who said that in the back though? That's what I'm saying. Like, see, because you have to keep yourself on your toes, right? As Ice Cube may say, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Okay, don't be that one sleeping on you. All right, we been here, right? It's giving G easy. Hey yo, I been on. All right. Anywho, I don't know why the rap's coming through so hard. All right. Anyways, that's why it's important to be open to change, you guys. So all of the new, well, makes sense. You've had to sacrifice a lot of that old, even referable to self. You guys, sometimes when you learn to get through some of the dark aspects of life and even self, okay, you kind of get good at pushing past it, as you should. But please don't do it to your detriment, to the point where you gloss over it. You don't celebrate that fact. All right. Again, it's kind of going back to what we talked about earlier tonight regarding that book chapter. It's like, oh, I read to chapter 23. We only had to do up to 12, right? And not in the sense of it's a race, okay, or in the sense of trying to cheat some sort of system, but in the sense of celebration of accomplishment, whatever you may have accomplished. Because otherwise, how loving is that towards you? How does it assist you to be continuing with even greater ease, right? If you're not allowing for it to feel that way, if you're not allowing for the experience to ultimately line up that way, okay? Um, Life is about transition, and when you remain receptive, you can experiment while you are fulfilling your blueprint. As you familiarize yourself, all right? Oh, excuse me, it's talking about this card. It's saying, picture a river that begins in the mountains and ends in the sea. This is your life trajectory, but there are many tributaries that you can take and still reach your destination. Kind of like into those innumerable variable outcomes to the timelines, regardless of your incarnation that you're honing in specifically. Just saying, right? Um, be open to investigating all the avenues that intrigue you. All right. Because again, otherwise it's going to get grueling. Makes sense? Some will prove invaluable and you may want to stay a while, and others may not. But to experience them at all is what matters. Excuse me. And it's just like that last message, you guys. The journey is very much part of the plan, the experience, the reward here. So don't gloss over it. If you made even one baby step, okay, don't be that one that goes, well, I'm sure somebody made 12 or 24. I just made that one. And you may want to say, well, who even says that? Well, remember I spoke about that vendor, that other earth angel energy, and to talk to her about just that. Remember? Some of it's so easy to gloss over even doing those things that you really have to put forth effort and intention to find them. Not in the sense of looking for the negative, but in the sense of looking where change is necessary. All right? Why? Because on the other side of it, you get a lot of what you want and more. Okay? I'm not going to say everything, because sometimes when you're out of alignment, and or in a lower density frequency. You want something that just really ain't even good enough for the version of you that understands not only its value, but how to add tax unapologetically. Understanding, oh no, oh, that would, you know what? I was trading crumb for crumb there. That ain't it. Oh, I deserve so much more, right? To the point where people who were benefiting off of the broken version of you try to tout you as conceited, delusional, wrong, evil. Well, how dare they project onto you their own very nature? But also, just the same, collective, don't be that one that doesn't know your truth, to have your faith muscles flexed, to have your believability about yourselves and your own worth and how it's right that you add that tax. Don't expect somebody outside of you to run those numbers accurately for you, firstly. You got to do your part. It's not wrong to do your part, it's also not punishment. In fact, it's part of the journey. Dare I say, part of the reward. And as we always love to say on the channel and in our high vibe tribe here, it just is what it is. It's what you make of it. So, what will you, collective? Right? It is what you make of it. Don't make it any more harder. And don't delay anymore the miracles that really, literally have your name on them. Okay? You gotta believe, though. I can't make you. I love you guys. If we're really emotional all of a sudden, like somebody really needs to get this and like just give themselves. It's like somebody's there going, I think it speaks to the core of my soul, but it's like, who, buddy, just I'm giving you hugs. Okay, keep going. This is literally from an oracle, messages from the guides. Talk to your guidance team, your spiritual guidance team, your inner guidance. Okay, talk to God, goddess. I'm not here to project onto you which tag words or names or titles, right? But I'm very much here to indicate to you um, just as much the same, this truth. Good thing you don't need to know all the names and all the aspects and forms of the identities and the realms and the dimensions and, how all of the inner workings of all fractals and forms of divinity works in order to benefit by them and in order to identify as them as truth. I leave you with that food for thought, excuse me. But please, please, I implore you, study to show yourselves approved. It just benefits you the most anyhow, and you deserve all the benefit you can get here from this earth school, perhaps, right? Okay. I would love to be cast in your movie, Fiona. Like, I'm so serious. Oh my goodness. That would be so great. That would be so great. Yes, let's manifest that. Don't say if, though. You can't say, because don't have me holding my breath. We're just gonna manifest it or not. Let me know. How about that, Fiona? That's just a little exercise for you. No worries. I know you're gonna make the movie. I can see me now. The dress is fire. I'm just saying, and the hat. Like, oh, hallelujah. I'm ready. I love you guys. I am losing steam. Did I apply for Love on the Spectrum? Meet me? No, I didn't, baby. I'm so sorry. You know what? I'm not even in that area. Because I think it's probably like LA, right? Fiona, I know that's right. I know that is all the way correct. And how about that? We were talking about him last night, and then it was so funny because it was like, of all places, you were in the studio. Of course, you would be in the studio because you wrote the book. You put the form in for me. They never contacted me. See, probably because I don't know if you can do it if you're not like officially, you know what I mean? Like, I don't have like an actual like medical diagnosis, and I feel like I don't know, I don't want to be like offensive to people that like literally have But I'm pretty sure because like I've done a lot of research just to try to better understand myself and like why people, I don't know, like I've just been through a lot where people just try to just take me wrong and tout me as like the problem, the menace. I guess looking back, it's probably just because those people tend to be the type of people that like to control and they like conformity. But I guess I feel like how Jessica Rabbit might say, like, I'm not bad. I'm just built that way. You know what I mean? Like, conformity is not always the answer, right? But if and when it is, I'm very much for that. Like, it's like, nope, we gotta stay safe. We're doing this and we're working together. Makes sense, right? But like dictatorships and all of that jazz, like, what? Where's the balance? Yeah, yeah. They interviewed you last year. Yeah, it is in LA. Dude, I would love to go to both LA and the UK. Like, mm, yes. Like I'm going. I don't know if it's gonna be for Love in the Spectrum because I'm like, I don't know. Like I just feel like, I really am a private person. Like I really am, you guys. Like I sometimes often like struggle to like get on the camera. Like I'm like, can I just do the blackouts? But you guys are like, yeah, we like to probably not always have blackouts. So I'm like, yeah, that makes sense. I get it. I'd be bored too, I guess. But like, and so like dating while everybody watched me like chew at stuff and try to be cute. Like it's bad enough with like just the one person like watching, trying to keep all angles and ish, right? But like the world, I don't know. Like I mean, like okay, like with for something so personal. Now, if it's a character, oh, I got you. Like what was, like what were we doing? So okay, and but like something where it's like I'd literally be like trying to look for love. And I'm not that type that goes, no, no, you don't have to look for love. Just get on the cameras. I'm not the type of person like because I feel like especially with like Love on the Spectrum, like they might not know if somebody was like blatantly like how like some of those other reality TV shows, obviously they're not trying to do anything beyond smash, right? Or just even make it look like that so that they can get the 15 minutes, right? I'm just not that person. I've also been used like that in certain ways and it doesn't feel well. So there's that, right? So then it goes back to just I'd rather probably just be private, and just at this point I think I'm manifesting a walk-in, you guys. Like seriously, like I'm working on not losing hope, right? But the walk-in is giving like a lot more sense and maybe even like of a hope-filled situation at this stage as far as like manifestation goes. And if I can help it, maybe because I'm pretty special, so a walk-in might make sense, right? Right, universe? Because as far as some of those other sources of love, whether soulmate or twin flame, it's looking like timeline shift, you know. And I don't mind because I can do better than bad on myself, right? Like with me and me having me. I think I posted earlier today, you guys. I was like, I'm about to just buy the rose and myself some flowers and call it a life, okay? Because I just am not one to just go cast in my pearls, and I know my why about that so hard, okay, to the point where it's like I'm not gonna forget, you know what I mean? And that's okay too. So it just like like we just said, it is what you make of it. But I don't, I'm not sure. Because then also like what if it was like a bad date and then what if like I'm not sure the way it's set up if you have to like actually like fake it long, like in the sense of like I'm having a great time when really like it's like no, this ain't it. Or if you can just cut, because I feel like they don't want to waste time either, do you know what I mean? I just think like it might not be reality based enough for my liking. And again, I'm not gonna actress it out on that if I can help it, because I'm not a fake person, if that makes sense. So it's almost like unless I'm a character of sorts, I'm not really gonna just be like, this guy is jazzy and like maybe someday we'll go to the park. Like if I really can't even stand to just like sit next to him or like smell him or something. I don't know. Like weird stuff could happen there, and I just go, probably not built for that. Like in theory, it seems cool. Like it seems all like easy enough, right? Like just go in there and I'm sure. But even from one season to the next, I wouldn't have picked a candidate out of the lot of the like the pick of the whole crop there necessarily, and then I would have been stuck doing what? Being fake? I don't want that. No. I'll just be myself, I guess, and you know, focus on building my empire and just really manifesting power couple vibes, okay? You guys, if you are resonating with your girl and you're not really seeing anyone who's like you enough doing what you do enough, or right, you can't fake it, but at the same time you just know you're well on your way to like matching that timeline, that vibrational frequency, right? To, you know what I mean? And the phoenix gotta rise from the ashes, baby. It's not like the phoenix went down, burnt up to a crisp, and at that charcoaliest moment, I'm making up words, just go with it. The phoenix's love of its life pulled it out of the ashes. No, there's a process to it, and there's a journey there, and there's rewards and blessings there. I'm also hearing to say there's favor there, right? Those twin flames, now it's like, okay, like if one is really not honoring the contract, okay, there's stuff that happens on the strength of that. You better be grateful to be by yourself doing you, okay, whether you buying yourself flowers or whatever else or not, because what you got going on is nothing compared to what they're missing out, you know. It just is what it is. But free will is very much a thing. You wouldn't want to get it to the point where it wasn't. How loving would that be? So you can't even be mad. Just be grateful and continue to move on, grow in love and in light, right? Not bitter Betty or bitter Bobby vibes. No, you're supposed to be too busy co-building new Earth, which is like really amazing stuff if you allow for it to be, you know? And so again, walk-ins come to mind. You guys don't forget about those. You can manifest, right? You can manifest a walk-in before you could manifest Jason Momoa. I gotta stop. I keep calling him Mimosa. I said it on the last live. I was like Mimosa. I'm like, oh no. Oh my goodness. So yeah. You guys don't forget about the walk-ins. Just saying. Keep hope alive. And get specific. Like not even just looks, right? How do they treat you? You know? How do you treat you? Don't go asking for somebody to treat you in ways that you like, oh, I want somebody that tells me I'm gorgeous, I'm beautiful, and I'm worthy. Whole time you're like, like you piece of crap. Like you look in the mirror and like there's like a random eyelash land on your cheek accidentally, and you're like, oh my god, the horror, you look hideous. Right? It's like, huh? Like what? So you want somebody, like whether they're named Roger or not, to like come and just like what, fight you for you? Like, no, you better fight that shadow aspect of you for you so you can get the person who really understands, hey, I see you the way that you see me, and you see me the way that I see you, and there's no toxicity here. There's balance, in fact, and reciprocity. This feels good, right? Next thing you know, it's like literally the love of your life, the lover of your life too, all in one package. Why? Because you did you first. You loved you first with the right proper measure and purity first, the way that you would love divinity. You might even think of it that way. Because again, there's no severability. That even came out in the oracle tonight, you guys, with the message from your guides. That was part of the oracle. And no, I didn't write it. And no, I don't have it memorized. It's just the message. I make cards about it. Six of Swords, it gets better. All right? It gets better. Calmer days, brighter weather. Maybe somebody here is a vocal recording artist of sorts, or should be. All right, Three of Wands, ships coming in, whether you sing or not. Get grateful right now, because just like in your right now, you understand that your ships are coming in, right? You're also simultaneously understanding, don't forget, that justice stands and exists for you in this now. And you really have to wrap your head around that so you don't get stuck at the ships coming in part. The ships actually come to the shore. Just saying. All right. Don't forget, you guys. I shit you not. Look at this. Justice. I cut the cards to it. And I don't have this deck memorized either, to be clear. It's just the message. They make cards about it. I love you guys. I'm tired and I'm going to rest, okay? As I pull the strength card. You guys got this, all right? Don't second guess now. Study to show yourselves approved so you don't second guess so much. How about that? Wait, what did you say, Amy? Am I not manifesting good? I don't know how to answer that. Amy, I'm so sorry. You will have to ask your spiritual guidance team. Okay. I think that if you believe you're worthy of something, then you're going to see the effects of that. And think about that. How many times have you felt that, you know, and eat me and anyone who can make sense of this, felt that you were worthy of something that you clearly weren't, till you got to that version of you that had done the work to see, oh, I actually was not deserving of that. I didn't deserve to be treated like that. But in the moments or the seasons or the years or the relationship that you were being treated like that, even with consistency, you consistently found a way to get through it, to be available for the next round, the next blow, the next offense, betrayal, backstabbing, theft, right? So people don't really stay in those conditions, right? Truthfully, if they wholeheartedly believe that they are not worthy of them, in the sense of that is definitely not deserving for them to be in those environments, those relationships, those connections, that mental processes. All right. And they do something about it. So, depending on what you're talking about, you know, depending on who all may be resonating with this, you could be not getting what you're thinking you're deserving of because it's not good enough. And it wasn't until you get yourself to understand that truth of the matter, what is looking to come into you, you can't. You've got to make room for it. You've got to perceive to receive for it. Right? Um, balance, you know, comes to mind as well. Like if you know, okay, I'm deserving of something. Okay, like let's say like a new house, right? Of course you're deserving of that, like to be clear, right? But in this example, eat me and anyone else who can make sense of this, perhaps, you know, you're saying you're deserving of a new house, okay? And you say, you know what? I don't want to spend too much money. I really don't know about the land and, you know, the taxes and things like that. I need you to know, firstly, that is operating out of a lack mentality. Here's the thing, you can still want a tiny house. I'm not saying that you shouldn't ever, depending on whom all I'm speaking to and addressing, right? And also as a personal thing, I think that they can make sense. So this is not me projecting any kind of my opinions towards this or onto anybody, okay? But here's the sitch. As far as your worth, as far as the amount of sacrifice and the amount of times you helped people when you didn't have, did not tout that you were helping. You didn't even say a word about the way you helped, what you saw, what you didn't speak about. For every time that you prayed for your enemies, those people that showed you that they basically only had an agenda to hand your ass to you and nothing more, while they touted love and while they touted even authority over you, and none of it was true, right? You've earned the reward coming to you. And again, in this instance, we'll say it's a house, all right? You're saying it's a tiny house, maybe one that is easily portable, even. Okay. But the whole time you've bought and paid and earned and are now due a $2.5 million mansion. You want that tiny house? Maybe you do. Well, if you want that tiny house, it would behoove you well to understand your worth to the point where you receive that 2.5 mansion and you park that tiny house on one of the lawns you got there. Because otherwise, you're shooting yourself in the foot to receive all that you came here for. And again, that's why it's very important not to box your perception of the way God, Goddess, the divine, your higher selves even, should be blessing you in the way the blessing should be coming through and through whom the blessing is perceived to should be coming through. Because again, shooting yourself in the foot. Again, going back to tonight's message, stay open-minded. It's the best way I can answer that. Eat me and anyone else who can make sense of that question. Thank you so much for your participation, though. Hopefully you can get some food for thought out of it. You thought a walk-in is when a spirit walks into someone's body and then what lives as them. Well, it depends on what you're manifesting. Also, that's like saying from one shapeshifter to the next, they're the same. So I don't really, we're going through some wormholes tonight. I don't know if it's the portal energy eat me or if I just really need some sleep. But I'm trying my best here, babe, but I'm not keeping up so well tonight. But you know what? It's okay because I think at this point we all should get some rest. And you guys don't forget to prepare, okay? Yet stay open-minded for the next day. How does it look? How does it feel? What are you doing? What are you crossing off your to-do list, even, right? And how will you be grateful? How are you grateful now for the tomorrow in your now space? When you guys do the exercises, you're really setting yourself up for a beautiful day and a beautiful foundation to build a whole legacy, dare I say utopia, off of. But the choice is yours, and the free will is yours to utilize or not. Okay? I can't make you. I know. It wouldn't be loving. I know. Spirit tells me all the time. Because you guys, I don't know. If I had my way, I'd just be like, we're all winning. Nobody's being negative, myself included. We got this. We got the bag. Blessings upon blessings, right? But you guys have your part to doing it all. And who am I to rob you of that? So I'm grateful. Thank you for being here, especially if you're still here at this juncture. I know you're doing the work, you guys. You guys are amazing. You guys help keep me going. And thank you so, so much. I really do love light each and every one of you from the bottom of my heart. Okay, whether I'm on the live stream or not, you guys, so serious. And thank you for bearing with your girl. I'm going to be working on getting a little bit more of different types of content out here. I have not forgotten. Just was definitely having to prioritize and learn to go with the flow myself. Your girl be working the program too. Like, for real, don't get it twisted. Like, just day and night. Okay, there's another Kid Cudi reference. I don't know what's going on, but anywho, all right. I love you guys, and thank you so much for not giving up. Okay, because every time you didn't give up, you just grew up, and the more you grow, you can't help but to glow. So please act like you know that, you guys, though. You guys are actually like badasses in like the most highest vibes of, like, own it. Like, like, live a little, smile a little. Don't be so serious all the time. But damn sure get stubborn in your faith. All right? You got this. I believe in you. Love and light.